really good about that position. Quarterback, in my opinion, you can never have enough quarterbacks, especially when they're athletes. I think we all learned a valuable lesson watching the Super Bowl and watching Russell Wilson play, and how valuable it is to have a quarterback that can create and extend plays. And I'm excited about our quarterback situation now. Offensive line, again, we lost Mackie McPherson. We had pretty much everybody back and ready to go, especially when Sean made the decision to come back. So again, we said the only way we're going to take a couple linemen is if we thought that they could play tackle, have some length, and also if they were kids that we thought could be exceptional players. And I think we got 2 of those. And then at running back, it's a tough year to try to recruit running backs because these kids knew that we had some kids stockpiled that could play. So we said we wanted a dynamic individual, and we'd only take one, and we wanted him to be a kid that could play both at the tailback position and even get out and play in the slot and give us a chance to catch the ball in the backfield. I think we found that guy. The last thing we're looking for is to try to find kids with leadership qualities. And we found 18 of our kids to be captains in high school. And of those 18, we had 4 or 5 that were multi-year captains. So I feel really strong about this class. I'm really excited and proud of the way our coaches and our support staff went about finishing this class off, especially these last 2 weeks, holding on to kids that were getting bombarded by a lot of people. And with that, those were my opening remarks. And any questions you have?
Coach, you talked about Lamar Dawson and the battle he's had, and just how much you're looking forward to getting him on campus whenever he does show up.
Yeah, Lamar's a young man from St. Rita High School. I've had a lot of success with that high school over the years. Catholic League, outside of Chicago, tough kids. One thing about St. Rita kids, especially in the secondary, they can play the game the way you want them to, but they've always been good tacklers. Coach Kuska, known for years, he's always in the state playoffs and always vying for a championship. And Lamar is exactly what we're looking for. He's been ill. He's had kind of a strange viral situation. So we're going to hang on and see how he's doing. If we need to, we'll wait and bring him in January if we have to. But he's a great kid. He's a good student. He's got great parents. He comes from a family of faith, and we're excited to have him on board.
Yeah.
Scott, the state of Florida obviously very important in this conference with the ACC and everything. Can you talk about the talent that you took out of Florida?
Yeah, I can. Excited about the Florida kids. They play a good brand of football. Really like the skill from down in that area. I have for many years. I feel indebted to the kids from South Florida. They've helped my career. They've made me look like a much better coach than I really am, especially secondary-wise and wide receiver over the years. I think we got a top fleet of kids, not only from Florida, but at the skill positions. And, when I look at a guy like Steve Ishmael, he's a kid. He'll be like the 12th or 13th kid I've coached from North Miami Beach High School. And all of Jeff Patani's kids have gone on to play football at all the schools I've been at. And, Richie Desir we have in-house right now. So it's exciting to get another one of Jeff's players. But excited about those kids. They're all playmakers, the kids on both sides of the ball that we've recruited from down there. And you look at the number of catches and touchdowns and interceptions from those kids. I mean, even Allen, Allen's a quarterback, and I was reading his bio, and he made a bunch of interceptions. I didn't even realize that, to be quite honest with you. So it's good to have some kids come in and bolster our speed and our skill positions from way down at the bottom.
Steven?
I saw George tell Sports Illustrated that he wanted to open up the offense a little bit more next year. Can you talk about how some of these players fit into that kind of scheme?
Well, yeah. Once again, let's go through the wide receivers. Jamal Custis, 6'6", multi-sport athlete. What you see if you go around and you look at their videotapes, Jamal, Steve Ishmael, KJ Williams, Adley and Oysek, they're all big wide receivers. And they make a ton of plays when they're covered, as I mentioned earlier. And I think part of opening up the offense has to do with guys that have the ability to make plays and make plays when they're covered. It's like Floyd when he was running the ball tailback. Everybody in the stadium knew he was going to run the ball, but it didn't matter. He found a way to make plays, and that's what I think we found here. Great to have Corey Cooper on campus as well. He and AJ are rooming together. They're getting their feet wet. They'll be with us this spring, And again, there's two other examples of kids that give you the ability to open up the offense, both with their feet and their ability to get down the field and make plays, and with the quarterback position, if things aren't there, to extend it. So excited about the movement forward with the playmakers.
Nico.
Coach, talking about Nashawn Howard, the local West Tennessee guy, he's been committed to you for a while. We've seen him for a while. Just want to hear your take on him and what he
Yeah,
brings.
first noticed Nas when he was finishing up 10th grade, and as a sophomore, went in and talked to Coach Marone at the time and showed him the tape, and he goes, "We got to get this kid. We can't let this kid get out of our own backyard." So we got the offer out to Joe Corley, and he let Nas know that. And we've been watching him ever since. He almost killed my own son in a game a few years ago, knocking the heck out of him. And just a great kid, great personality, strong student, young man that's worked his way to where he's become a respectable football player in the area. And I know he's excited to join the Orange.
You talked about trying to put the numbers where you want to in the position. Bringing in all these wide receivers, you have a real glut there, or
Yeah.
kind of guys.
Yeah.
Was that just because you know you're going to have to rotate through because of the up-tempo system, or
No, not necessarily. I thought our productivity needed to be increased. And, that's one position where we actually have, numbers above and beyond what you'd like to have. And, when you look at it as a coach, you say, what's our productivity and what are we going to do to make it better? And I felt when we went through it that we had some high-quality kids that were interested in playing in this offense and saw who we were and who we weren't, and weren't afraid to come in and compete. And I think that's what we got right there that can come in and do that.
Jennifer.
You talked about the quarterback position, about play screen plays. Will guys like Allen and AJ get to compete as well this spring?
Yeah, obviously the spring just beat AJ because he's on campus. I've been really pleased. Been pleased with the way Terrell finished the season, and I'm proud of him. He's a competitive person, and I think the kids behind him, kids that are in class, right now, on campus, as well as adding Allen in the mix, are just guys that give us a chance to have great competition. There's nothing better than competition. Plus the fact, when I was at Northern Illinois many years ago, we started a fifth-string quarterback for 7 games due to injuries. And I just don't think you can ever have enough of those guys.
What was it like in the houses and the living rooms and the kitchen tables? How were you and your staff received? Because we all know, Syracuse had a little bit of a lull there. Now you're coming back.
Yeah.
What's the feeling when Syracuse knocks at the door to these kids' houses?
It's been great, but the kids, it's easy to get the kids excited on the phone when you're talking about what you want to do. But to finally get into their homes for myself, I'm only allowed to see the parents one time in their own homes. Was extremely exciting for me, and it was great to just pass on our message. And I think that was most revealing was people knew that we won 3 bowl games in the last 4 years. People knew that we have great education to offer. And I think they were also impressed with the fact that we graduated 77% of our student athletes. I think we only have 14 schools above us that are playing major college football from the big conferences. And our retention rate's 91%. And those numbers in comparison, which we do a lot of, you narrow it down to say who we're going up against. And when you put the real numbers down, there's proof in the pudding. So it's so easy to sell a school like Syracuse. And just a pleasure to get to know everybody. It's the greatest part of my job. The worst part of the job is leaving Missy and the kids behind. The best part of the job is meeting other moms and dads and their families, the brothers, the sisters, and getting to know, what they're all about and getting a feel for who they are and their core values. The biggest thing we wanted to do is try to match up our core values here with these kids and make sure that it fit. And it fit in most instances. I give our coaches a ton of credit for that. There were only a couple occasions where, I decided to go in another direction because I didn't think the character met the expectations and the high bar we're trying to set here for the future. And it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Coach, I know it's really early on, but what type of immediate impact do you think this freshman class can make next season?
Well, we'll know how good this class is in 3 or 4 years, to be quite honest with you. On paper, it's a good class. And, around these kids, I'm excited about it. But the maturation and the speed of those kids to be able to come in and make an impact will be different on each kid. The thing you don't want to do, in my opinion, is you don't want to anoint the kid for something that he did in the past. You want to give him credit for it, and you want to be excited that he chose to come and play for your team, in your systems, both sides of the ball. But you also want to give that kid an opportunity to be a freshman. And if that's sitting back and waiting a year to play, then we got to make good decisions there. If it's an opportunity for a youngster to come in and make an impact right away, then all the more power to him. I look at Grizzly, Grizzly Stint came in. We're excited as heck about him, but there was still that learning curve. Being away from home, learning the new system, learning the new, the new verbiage and the new, playbook and all the things that you're asking them to learn. And then you add to it the academic structure and all the things that we ask the kids to do. So, I hate to anoint kids until they get here and prove themselves. We have a great football team coming back. We have a lot of quality young men that know what it takes to win and know where we need to be and how high that bar is in this conference. So we're going to start there, and then we're going to just turn it into a competition across the board, as we always have. And I think that's the best way to move forward.
Looking specifically at the wide receiver group now with these guys, how do you view it differently than the end of last year? How much better do you think it is?
Well, we'll never know until we get them in camp and throw that ball up to them. I think on paper they look good, and I'm excited about all those kids that we signed, including Corey. I think we have dynamic players that fit right into what we want to get to. So it'll be great competition.
How does that group compare to the past group of wide receivers you brought in these last few years?
Wouldn't be fair to say until we get them on the football field.
Okay. You guys had a lot of success in and around Chicago. Talk about how you were able to do that.
Yeah, we targeted about 6 or 7 kids in the state of New York that we really wanted. And we got those offers out to the New York kids early, and we hit them hard. And we came away with 2 commitments out of New York. To be quite honest with you, I would have loved to get all 7 of those kids that we targeted. We're still fighting that fight to keep the kids at home. And all we can do is continue to improve our product and hope that that helps us keep those kids at home. I got stuck in Atlanta for 2 days, and I just felt handcuffed. And I sat up there and I told Missy, boy, if we could have kept the kids that we wanted in state at home early, I'd never be in Atlanta right now. So you adjust to the elements. There's plenty of good football players everywhere. The goal is to try to keep our kids at home. We haven't been able to do that to the level that we want to. Losing to the Floridas, the Clemson last year, Notre Dame this year, lost to Pitt. That's the reality of it, and some of those were circumstantial with regards to who we had on our roster. And those kids said, well, maybe it's not for me. I can play earlier at this place. So we're going to fight that fight. Now, to get back to your question about Chicago, just like South Florida, I'm indebted to Chicago. The years we were at Northern Illinois, the year I was at Illinois, we played with Chicago kids. Some of those high school coaches are the most respected people in the business that I know. And we started a clinic way back in the day, south side of Chicago in the public league. We had 28 guys show up the first year. Then it was 35. Then it was 150. Then it was 200. Then it was 300 and 300. And those coaches remember those days. And most importantly, they remember how Coach Novak, under the leadership of Joe Novak in Northern Illinois, and the rest of us that were assistant coaches, how we took care of those kids and how we made sure that they graduated and how we made sure we did right by them. So it was really easy for me to go back into those neighborhoods and talk about those people. And we had some of my former players at some of those schools at high school football games and whatnot from years and years ago, and uncles and parents are asking about, these guys on this staff that used to be out that way, and it really helped. I think there was a comfort factor, and just the fact to be able to get into the South Side, grab some Harold's chicken, and then go out in the suburbs and go to Portillo's, grab some Italian beef and a Chicago-style hot dog. For me, it was great. It was great to get back in that territory for a number of reasons. I think we got quality kids from that part of the country, and I'm excited to see them on the field.
Dan.
Scott, not only with yourself, but with the staff, this is your second time around being on the recruiting trail with them as the head coach. What are you learning about yourself, and what are you taking away from watching them in action?
Well, I just trust them. I let them go out there and do their job. They know what we're looking for. The thing that's probably most comforting is not the fact that they bring players to you and say, hey, got some great players for you, coach. The fact that they come back and they say, look, these 3 kids, they're rated really high, coach, but they don't fit. Okay, good. Let's move on to the next one. Why is this guy fit? He's our kind of kid. He's going to go to class. He wants to get an education. Maybe he wants to be the first in his family to get a college degree from a premier university like Syracuse. So we speak the same language. As far as learning about myself, haven't really reflected to that, to that question, other than just keep doing what we've done for all the years that we've been together, so many of us, and understand that as long as we surround ourselves with people that want to play at Syracuse, we're going to be in good shape every year.
Chris?
Now that you kind of know what you have coming in, are there any guys that you're shifting around, like are they Johnson to the inside or the first game?
Not yet. Those things will happen. We need to get through spring ball and see where we're at. And then we need to get these kids on the grass. We already started our junior list and started to tap how many kids at what positions. But really, those are kind of misnomers till we get these guys on the field. Because what will happen is the lowest rated kid in the class got a shot to be an All-American. Seems like it happens every few years. And the highest rated kid maybe won't pan out the way we thought. So until you get them on the grass, let them compete, find out who they really are between the white lines. It's a waiting game to some degree. So we'll put that, we'll put those things up on the dry erase board and be ready to use that eraser.
Have you guys made a decision on Fleming with a red shirt? He'll come back or not?
Yeah, Flem's coming back. He looks good. He's running around. He's excited. And he just looks great. His body's in great shape. His legs are feeling good. He says he's got to bounce back into his legs, and excited to get him back out there too.
Good time for a couple more. We're going to go to Nico.
Coach, for the student athlete, how special is today when they're signing that dotted line, grabbing that hat, whatever they do now, and how special is it for those
It's an
kids?
exciting time. These kids are 17, 18 years old. We just got done recruiting a bunch of teenagers. Let's not forget that. For them, they've been dreaming since they were little kids to go play football at a prestigious university, and for them to sign and look their parents in the eye and look at their grandparents and say, I did it. It's an end point and a start point at the same time. And that's the one message I tried to relay to all of our kids that signed today was, hey, this is a new beginning. This isn't an end point. And now the real work begins. And, they were good on the phone, and they were giddy and excited. And it's just a wonderful time for these kids. And it's something that needs to be celebrated today. And give them a couple more days, and then let's get to work.
Mike?
Coach, you talked a little bit about Denzel Ward, 6'8", 320, it's size you just can't teach and seems to have a lot of upside.
Yeah, he's got tremendous upside. He got a great mother, single parent, raised Denzel. She's worked her tail off. They've been through some tough times throughout the course of their days. And Denzel's a kid that the first thing he brings to the table is he's got a great attitude and a nice way about him. When you get a chance to talk to him, you'll see what I'm talking about. He's got that twinkle in his eye. He's also a kid that brings physical attributes that you can't coach. He's about 6'7.5", a little over 300 right now. The thing I like about our big kids, both Denzel, Aaron Roberts, Jamal Custis, Ishmael, KJ, Adley, they're big, long, lean-looking bodies that are going to continue to grow the right way. I'd much rather take a young man that can put the weight on the right way than a kid that you're trying to take it off. Now, that being said, I did think that we had to go through and get some beef at the defensive tackle position, starting with Wayne Williams. He's an explosive player. We've been trying to get him in here for a long time, and he had to go the junior college route. And we're excited that he's on campus right now, and Coach Hicks is working with him. So the physical attributes of our big kids are impressive, as well as Chris Slayton. When you guys meet Chris, if I asked you to guess how much he weighs, you'd probably guess about 220 pounds. But he's just under 270 now. and he doesn't look it at all. And those are the kind of kids I like. I like those long, lean bodies that can run. Jalen Harvey, Caden Samuels. When we didn't score victory in our own backyard in the city, and we needed to go out and find the right types of people at D tackle, we found these two young men, and I was really impressed with these two people because they both come from real sturdy families. They're both big kids that can set the point and hold the point, and they've proven that, playing in good football areas too. The area in Georgia that Caden's from, and then Alabama with Jalen, that's good football. And they're getting double teamed by people that know how to double team, and they're holding the point. So I think we have two kids there, along with Wayne, who's already on campus, that give us a chance to, really separate things in the A and B gap up front. It all starts up front. So I'm excited about that. Those group of 4 men that will be playing for us.
Last question from Sal.
Since you've been here, y'all have had a lot of success with guys like Jay and Chandler, Alec Lemon. You worked with 4 and 5 stars, but when all said and done, they're in the NFL. What is it, the process that y'all go through, or why do you think you've been able to take those kind of dives into the rough?
Yeah, and it's been similar to where I've been throughout most of my career. I think it's twofold. One, we've had a group of coaches that could look and say, he reminds me of this guy, like JT, like Jonathan Thomas. He's kid reminds me of Dyson Davis. Dyson played wide receiver in high school, played a little strong safety, but he's a long, tall kid that could really run, and he could dip, and he could run, But all these kids, they also have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder too. I know, just talking to, for instance, Galen, he's in SEC country. A lot of people had offers coming out of high school when they were sophomores, beginning of their junior year, and he felt like, man, I haven't got on the field yet, and all these people are committed, and I know I can play with them. And to hear him speak that reminded me of so many of those kids you just mentioned that walked in here with a chip on their shoulder, and our coaches did a good job projecting who they can be someday, not necessarily where they are today, but body types that can grow into a bigger and better player at our level. And I think it starts with the coaches doing a good job finding the right guy and then developing him. Syracuse football has been for years, going all the way back, Coach Mack, and looking at some of the people that he recruited that became great players, Coach Pasqualoni especially, Coach Marone. We've been a program that knew that it was important to learn how to truly develop a young man. And the thing about the kids that are, not 4 and 5 star guys, but those 2 and 3 star guys that you mentioned, not only the chip on the shoulder, but they understand that there's a lot of work that has to be done to get to the point that they want to be, so they're hungry. And I like kids that are hungry to play the game the way we want them to.
Thanks so much. Thank you, everybody, for coming.